now on its way. The state joke is now here to stay. The Joker is wild, the universal charm, and the Joker doesn't have to know the words to be heard or the way to play. The stage Joker is for you and me.
And there is a full-length version coming to a record label near you soon. I understand you're actually putting a compilation of several of your musical songs together. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. As I was mentioning about 52 cards equal 52 cards, it was a profound insight for me when the young man at the clinic school, after I shared it, once you know you've got 52 cards, once I know I have 52 cards and we can lay our cards on the table, then we realize that we are each other's equal and we transcend the card game mentality and are at home at the State of Joker, welcoming everybody home. And the following day, he knocked at my door. I was surprised that he was able to even know that the dorm I lived in, etc. And he said, "Justin, I collect rocks." And he pulled a rock, a beautiful turquoise rock out of his pocket. And he said, "This is my favorite rock, and it's from me to you, one Joker to the other." And he had tears in his eyes. And at that moment, I realized that this dream about the Joker that actually came to me as a vision when I woke up, just, I guess, the day before, had great significance. And so what I realized with soldiers and with everyone else, once we are courageous enough to see someone as our precise equal, we are home free.
Precise equal in that interdependent relationship?
Precise equal in that, in essence, we are each other's equal. And so we create a society where we give opportunities to other people to get education, people who can't afford education, etc., where everyone has opportunities to deal with the survival needs so that they can move to the acceptance needs and the self-esteem needs that Maslow talks about, and then ultimately the creative needs, which we are really born into. We're all creative and able to flourish in infinite ways. Look what humanity has done in terms of technological advancement. But in terms of emotions, we're still in the dark ages because of jealousy and envy. My mother was jealous of her sister, who was glorified. My father was jealous of his brother, who was glorified. And I used to think that people who were the most given most love in the family, they had more love to give, like the full cup that spills over. Well, it wasn't true. My aunt, who got all her mother's affection, all her stepfather's affection after my grandfather committed suicide, was so jealous of my step-grandfather showing me as a child any tenderness that she actually flipped the lever on the crib that I was in. I landed on my head, and I still have an indent, and they started to say I was brain damaged, I was the retard, and the stupid idiot moron, retard, and nitwit, and dimwit, and imbecile, and all that.
But there was a long-term effect
in
doing that, because you had said you went back
never
to
passed
school at 28.
Never passed out of grade 1, failed grade 1 3 times, moved along eventually to determine, and see, the dirtiest word I was able to speak, to say as a child was why. And why I was beaten for saying why, and why can't I, whatever, they needed not to reflect, because to that generation, pre-Oprah, it had to be honor thy mother and father. Well, in the Dead Sea, in the Gospel according to Thomas, Jesus said, when you make the two one, when you make the inner as the outer as the inner, which I take to mean no mask. Have no mask with anybody. Be the same person with everyone. And when you make the above as the below and the below as the above, which I take to mean no one's better than us, no one's less than us in essence. And when you make the male and the female into the single one, so the male will not be male and the female not be female, in terms of the roles and the scripts that people are programmed to play out. When you make eyes in a place of an eye, when you make hands in a place of a hand, foot in a place of a foot, an image in a place of an image, when you see at least one other person absolutely for real, then we shall enter the kingdom. Well, maybe the kingdom's the now, but how can we be here now if we're taught to see each other as symbols? And who are the first two symbols we see in childhood? If not, mother and father. So if my mother's walking down the street, do you see my mother as mother first or person first?
Well, not being my mother, I would see her as person first.
And my father as a person.
person.
How would I see your mother? Mother first or person first? Person. Your father is a person. How do you see your own mother and father?
As mother and father.
Right, that's the trap. The day we can honor them enough to see them from their whole childhood perspective as a person first, then we're free to see everyone else as a person first.